Guys, I remember when I learned that you can catch fish shallow in the winter. I always thought you could have to fish deep and you had to go fish slow, but guys, that's not the case. In this video today, we're about to talk about how to catch fish shallow in the winter, which is a fun way to catch fish and a way to catch a big fish as well. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, Kyle Cordiana here with Bass Fishing Declassified. Today's video is going to talk to you about some shallow water winter tips and the bait I like to throw shallow water in the winter. Got a lot of baits I like to throw, but today's video I'm going to talk to you about the Booyah One Knocker. The Booyah One Knocker. There's also the Booyah Hard Knocker. So the One Knocker is just what it is. It's one bearing. That's the One Knocker. The Booyah Hard Knocker's got a lot of rattles. You're going to get more. You're going to get I can't make that noise, but you're going to get a lot more rattles, a lot more noises. So when it's cold outside, typically the One Knocker gets me more bites. So I'm going to lean towards the One Knocker when my water temps are cold. And when I say cold, I'm talking about below 60 degrees or colder. Anything above 55, 60 degrees or higher, probably going to lean towards the Hard Knocker. So the Booyah One Knocker is going to be what I go to. And in the winter months, the bait's really small. A lot of times the fish are keying on small forage. Now these are custom paint jobs, but you can get these over here at Lure Nut at the custom paint shop. But these are Booyah One Knockers, custom paint jobs. I'm always going to have one shad colored, really good in the fall. These are 1/4 ounce, not 1/2 ounce. These are small ones. And then I'm going to have some kind of orange or red crawfish color. And you know, this one here is called Party Craw. As far as the tackle and the equipment I'm going to use to throw these 1/4 ounce Booyah One Knockers, it really depends. So if I'm going to fish a grass fishery in the winter, you've got the grass has grown up all summer, maybe it's starting to die off a little bit. But if I'm fishing grass, I'm going to throw a 7.3 to a 7.6 medium heavy graphite rod. Okay, I'm going to throw something that's graphite because I want that rod to have a little bit more strength to it so I can rip it free of that grass. And I'm going to keep that bait in that shallow grass, and I'm going to wind it relatively quickly with the rod tip up. That 1/4 ounce will help keep it up above that matted out grass. Because again, that grass has grown really tall in the summer months, starting to die off. So that 1/4 ounce keeps it up, and I'm just going to reel it until I tick it. When I tick it, I'm going to try to rip it free and keep it free of that grass. But I want to hit the grass, rip it free. If I'm fishing a grass lake, Booyah One Knocker is if I'm fishing a rock lake, a Booyah One Knocker is a fantastic bait in the winter, even if it's rock. It doesn't have to be grass. It can be where fish are pushing fish back, it can be where fish are pushing bait back into drains or just have shad schooled up along a dock, along a windy point. It doesn't matter. Throw this thing out there, and that's the scenario where I'm going to throw like a 7'2" medium KLX feeling reel. So a Kistler feeling reel. This is a graphite rod that transitioned to fiberglass, has a lot softer tip. It's going to allow that fish to just load up. And you're not necessarily going to feel the bite as hard. The rod's just going to kind of quit vibrating and load up. And that's going to be a more accurate way to get a hook in those fish. And so again, if I'm fishing grass, I'm going to go graphite. If I'm fishing rock or open water, I'm going to go with something fiberglass with like the Kistler feeling reel. I'm going to throw the 1/4 ounce trap probably on 15-pound fluorocarbon. I may go down to 12, but probably not. 15 is going to be that magic number. I would go with 17 if I get away with it, but probably 15-pound fluorocarbon. Throw it on a pretty fast gear ratio, anything 7.3 to 1. This is a Kistler Series 1 reel. Always going to put my treble hook baits in the bait sack by TackleWorks. And I hope that helps you guys. Don't forget, you can get over to LureNet. You can get your Booyah One Knockers. Look for custom colors in the paint shop like those there. And use my coupon code, Cordiana15, saves you 15%. See you guys on the next one.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another edition of Bass Fishing Declassified, and really appreciate you guys joining us for today's video. We're going to be talking about my favorite shallow water winter lure today. I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on how to fish it. A lot of people overlook the fact there's still a lot of fish to be caught shallow in the winter. So I'm going to go over my favorite technique on how to do that. Real quick guys, before we get started, just want to remind you that our title sponsor for today's video is Bridgeford Food Corporation and the Bridgeford Sweet Baby Ray Beef Jerky. Not only do they make beef jerky, but Bridgeford makes summer sausage, salami, all types of meat snack products. Guys, Bridgeford is a huge supporter of the bass fishing industry. They support anglers all over the country. They make components for our Army's MRE military, all American made product here in the United States. It's just a super great company that's really behind the sport. And if you guys want to try some, you can get the jerky at any checkout counter at Walmart across the country. So much appreciated with that, guys. Okay guys, we'll get right into it. What my favorite shallow wallops. One second here. Sorry about that. What is my favorite shallow water winter lure? And that is a Megabass 110 Junior. Now this is the small model with the shallower lip on it. And to give you a size comparison, here's the traditional 110 body. next to the 110 junior size. It's probably close to a ½ inch, 3/4 inch shorter, and it's also got a lot smaller profile overall. It's more of a finesse jerk bait. And guys, this bait right here with the regular lip on it, they make a 110 plus 1 junior, and this one that I'm talking about here, the 110, they're just a straight 110 junior. But this bait will get down to probably about 4 foot deep on 8-pound test line. And this is my favorite shallow water winter lure out there, because there's a lot of fish in the winter time. Let's say, for example, if you're fishing a main lake point, in the winter when the water temperature's in the 40s and maybe around 50 degrees, if you're fishing like a main lake or secondary point, which is a prime structure in the wintertime to catch fish on a jerk bait, you've got two populations of fish living on that same point. You got fish that are relating to the bottom in anywhere between like 4 to 10 foot of water. And then you've got some fish that are out on the ends of the points deeper that usually suspend in that 20 to 40 foot range, depending upon your water clarity. But what I'm targeting with this 110 junior right here is those fish that are living on the bottom in the rocks or on the mud or on the gravel or whatever your bottom composition is, in water less than 10 feet deep. Now, it doesn't matter if the water visibility, or excuse me, if the water depth is 4 foot or 10 foot, there's still going to be a population of fish living there if you have the right water visibility. In order for this technique to work, you sort of have to have water visibilities in that 2 to 5 foot range is ideal. The water is clearer than that, say you got super clear water. It can work also if you have a cloudy or windy day, but you're not going to catch many fish on it if you have water visibilities of like less than 2 foot or so like that. To give you guys a prime example of what I'm talking about, I was fishing down at Grand Lake last December. It was towards the end of December. Water temperatures were in the upper 40s. And I was fishing just traditional jerkbait sizes, the regular megabass 110 size, and I wasn't catching too many fish. And I started pulling around back into some of these coves, and I started fishing the flatter points entering the coves there. Water visibility was like 2 foot. And I started noticing some shad flickering, even though the water was pretty cold. Some shad were flickering up on the bank. And I said, well, man, if those fish are up shallow a little bit, maybe they're a little bit finickier, not quite as aggressive, and I'm going to downsize. And I went to this 110 junior and started fishing it like in 2 to 3 foot of water, right on those points, right on the bank, just casting it to the bank like I would a crankbait. And I wound up catching like 15 fish that day on the 110 junior. December, like I said, 2 foot visibility, maybe 2.5 foot of visibility, water in the upper 40s. So this is a prime situation with that. So main thing, guys, is just downsize. One of the things I found out about wintertime fishing is you're going to catch a lot more fish if you downsize your lure size, whether it be a jerkbait, smaller Alabama rigs, smaller swim baits, smaller jig and spoons, that type of stuff. You'll catch a lot more fish and quality fish by downsizing. But by far, wintertime fishing, when those fish are in less than 5 to 10 foot of water, megabass 110 junior has been really effective for me. And color variations just depend on the water clarity on the day. I mean, there's if it's dark out, cloudy, maybe the water's a little bit dirty, or I'm using a brighter color. And if the water's cleaner with maybe some sun out, I'm using the more natural translucent colors like that. So anyway, give it a try. I think it'll help you guys catch some good shallow fish if you don't want to get out there and fish in deep water all winter. See you guys next time.
One technique that often goes overlooked during the winter period is to be throwing a wake bait. Guys, a bait like this Berkeley Surge Shad can draw some of the best and biggest bites of the year in only inches of water during the coldest part of the year. It's something that goes against everything that we think about bass fishing. But I'm here to tell you, when you get the right conditions on the right days, you can draw some amazing bites from fish that are in very shallow water on a wake bait. I am one that anytime we get a warm day, either during the winter period or in my case up north here, right before ice up, I'm talking when the water temp is anywhere from the mid 40s or lower. If you get a warm, sunny day, a lot of the largemouth will move back into some of the shallowest, dark bottom areas that are mud-filled, silt-filled, places that during the summer a lot of times are just choked out with grass or are big pad fields. those largemouth will move back into those areas. Now, this happens both in the northern part of the country where we do freeze over. So you're looking at the areas that they move to right after ice out are the same places they're going to be right before ice out. So the real shallow backwater type bays, backwater areas. If you're on a river, the place is completely out of the current. If you're on a lake, you're talking about your shallowest bays. Maybe it's a man-made channel complex. The point here is the bass will be looking for those warm water areas. But if you don't live up north, this holds true down south as well. During the coldest period of the year, if you get a really nice warm day, you'll have bass that move back into these areas that are generally not the best types of areas to fish because they're dark bottom areas. They warm up way too fast. They'll be choked out during the summer months. But during the winter, that's a prime location. So you want to be retrieving this extremely slow on the surface. If you have any hard target objects, maybe a stump, maybe a dock, maybe a brush pile, things that will absorb sunlight are going to be where those fish are holding. Remember, they pull up in those areas specifically looking to get warmth. And if you can bring this by them, they will eat this better than a lot of other baits. It presents an extremely easy meal for them. One thing I love about the surge shad is it's got the reflective disc on the bottom. So even though this is a matte black bait, I still do get a little bit of flash coming off the back, which gives it a natural appearance like a bait fish. It is a technique that does not necessarily catch you numbers, but the quality of fish is really, really good. Some of the biggest bass I've ever caught during the late fall is done on one of these, on a surge shad or some other wake baits as well. So give that a try if you haven't already. But remember, it's got to be a really nice day. One of those days you want to be out in the boat anyways, because you know winter is coming, so you're taking advantage of a good, warm, sunny day that's got very little wind.
If you guys enjoy the content in this video and want more personalized instruction, head to our website, fishthemoment.com. Then go to the virtual lessons page. Here you can book one-on-one virtual lessons with each member of the Fish the Moment team. In these 1-hour lessons, the Fish the Moment team member will break down your lake using Google Earth and a contour line map and answer any questions you have. Whether you're preparing for an upcoming fishing tournament or a fun weekend on the lake, make sure you sign up for one of these one-on-one virtual lessons so you're fully prepared to catch as many fish as possible on the water. Check them out at fishthemoment.com.
Okay, guys, for me, if I had to pick a way to fish shallow in the winter, okay, guys, I'm going to be looking for stained water. Now, you can do this in clear water, but you need wind. But I'm going to be looking for the stained section of the lakes. And, guys, you know, I'm going to be looking for a couple different types of points. It could be a rounded point where there's going to be some drains, kind of drains and ditches. It could be your long flat points, guys. It can even be kind of your rock banks in a way. But guys, it's going to be with a lipless crankbait. Okay, I have 2 lipless crankbaits right here, and guys, I have a box full of lipless crankbaits. I have like 7 different brands. I'm just going to put a couple in the description. But guys, one thing about this is, okay, on these shallow rounded points with these ditches, there does need to be deep water nearby. Okay, I think what kind of happens is them fish, there's a couple things we could say, but them fish are going to be kind of in that deeper water, but when they want to come up to feed, they're going to come up on these shallower areas. Now, guys, one thing they with this is they can be on the bottom, and let's say they're in 7, 8 foot, 6 foot. You're reeling this above their head. They're going to come up and eat it, okay? You don't, technically, you know, you can reel these on the bottom. I like to kind of do a retrieve where I reel and kill it, okay, and let this thing kind of flutter down, all right? One of the things I realized, like, you can hop. I like doing that retrieve. I just went blank, the hop retrieve when I'm fishing grass. But if you kind of twitch this like a jerkbait at times, the hooks kind of get all messed up, and the line it kind of goes up in the line. So I'll kind of kill it and just kind of let it kind of flutter on its own. But as you see, guys, I mean, I'm just throwing it up into some shallow rock, and then I'm bringing it off. And man, them fish, dude, these fish, man, eat these things. Okay, it's a fun way to catch them. When I grew up fishing, I really didn't think you can catch a fish shallow in the winter. I tried. I had people even show me. But in recent years, I kind of had some new help. Got to see it in action and then go expand on it as well. I also like to throw a flat-sided crankbait. I know I've talked about. Another way could be a bladed jig. Depending on the lake you're fishing. One of my lakes I fish at lowland, shallow, more muddy reservoir. They love the jackhammer in the winter, okay, to the spring, all right. But guys, just something about the lipless crankbait. I love it. It's been one of my favorite ways to catch fish in the winter. Guys, one thing about it, you can do this all day. There are times where that first hour in the morning, it can happen. But then also, guys, that middle of the day as well is another time that you can catch some fish with the lipless crankbait up shallow.